You know him as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, one of the biggest stars on the planet. But if you look past the blockbusters and the championship belts, there's an even more incredible story. A financial blueprint for building an empire. So how on earth did he do it? Well, let's break it down.
Believe it or not, our story starts right here, with $7. After his dream of playing pro football fell apart, this was literally all the money he had in his pocket. It's a heck of an origin story, and it makes what comes next just mind-blowing.
And this is where he is today. His estimated net worth is around $800 million. The journey from that first number to this one wasn't an accident. It wasn't just about a few big paydays. No, it was all part of a strategy. So that's the big question, right? How do you go from $7 to a global brand? If we look at him like a business case study, what was the actual playbook? Let's get into the steps. Okay, so first things first. Every empire needs a solid foundation. For Johnson, that foundation was all about performance. This is where he earned his first real capital and, maybe more importantly, started building the brand that would power everything else.
Let's start with wrestling. Picture this. He's just starting out, scratching and clawing, as he says, making just $40 a match in flea markets. Now compare that to today. He just landed a reported $30 million deal to join the board of TKO Group, the company that owns the WWE. That's not just a career path. That's turning performance into pure brand power.
And what do you do with that kind of brand power? Well, he masterfully spun his wrestling fame, that whole rock persona, into a massive Hollywood career. He didn't just become another actor. He became one of the most bankable stars in the world.
And the paychecks? Wow. We're talking $22 million for Jungle Cruise, consistently pulling in over $20 million a film. And get this, a staggering $50 million for his next movie, Red One. But here's the key. For Johnson, this money wasn't the goal. It was the seed money. It was the investment capital he needed for his next and most important move.
And that brings us to the absolute core of his financial blueprint. Johnson made a crucial pivot from being an employee, a really well-paid one, to being an owner. This is the move that puts wealth generation into overdrive.
He took all that Hollywood money and put it to work. He co-founded his own production company, $7 Productions. He launched Zoa energy drinks. And of course, there's the wild success of Tera tequila. Each one of these is a piece of that ownership strategy.
Let's think about it like this. A $20 million paycheck for a movie is amazing, but it's a one-time thing. Ownership, on the other hand, creates an asset that keeps paying you. His tequila brand sells over 1 million cases a year. That's a non-stop, scalable revenue stream that a film salary just can't touch. It's the difference between getting paid and owning the machine that does the paying. And that requires a completely different mindset. As he said himself, it's about having the guts to take risks. Walking away from a guaranteed paycheck to bet on yourself as an entrepreneur. That's a massive leap, but it's really the only way you go from just earning a living to building a true empire.
So you've built this massive machine of wealth. What does that actually create? Well, it creates an entire ecosystem. It's a brand that supports a certain lifestyle for sure, but it's also deeply connected to philanthropy. For him, those two things are totally intertwined.
And the lifestyle is pretty incredible. His real estate portfolio alone tells a story. We're talking a nearly $28 million mansion in Beverly Hills, a 46-acre farm in Georgia. These aren't just fancy houses, they're strategic assets that are physical proof of the brand he's built.
But here's where the story gets really interesting. It doesn't just end with mansions and private jets. A huge piece of his brand and his financial playbook is giving back. He uses his platform and his wealth to make a real impact. A perfect example is the People's Fund of Maui. You remember the devastating wildfires there? Well, he and Oprah Winfrey kicked off a fund with a $10 million donation of their own. Since then, that fund has paid out over $19 million directly to more than 8,000 survivors. And it wasn't a one-time thing. During the Hollywood actors' strike, he made what was called a milestone 7-figure donation to the SAG-AFTRA Relief Fund. In fact, it was the largest single donation the foundation had ever received. See, this is him reinvesting in the community that helped build him. It all strengthens his ecosystem.
Okay, so let's zoom out. What can we actually learn from all this? Let's try to boil this whole journey down into a few key lessons that really make up his financial blueprint.
So, what's it all built on? It's funny. A student case study that analyzed his career pointed to two main pillars. First, a relentless work ethic. You've all heard him say, "Be the hardest worker in the room." And second, a constant, consistent focus on investing in himself, his skills, and his brand.
So here it is, the blueprint, in 3 simple steps. Step 1, build a brand people trust through sheer performance and just being authentic. Step 2, use that brand and the money it makes to go after ownership. And step 3, cement that legacy by giving back in ways that feel genuine to who you are.
And that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. The scale of his success is obviously unique, right? But are these core principles, building a brand, choosing ownership over a paycheck, and making an impact, are they just for celebrities? Or is this a financial blueprint that anyone in any field can actually learn from?